everybody, and welcome to Paradigm Shift and Educational Comedy. And we are here with John and Mark of Class Reunion, a local Chicago band, and we're here to jam a bit and have fun and get to know them a bit. And just to let you know, the live stream is going to be a bit of a rough cut, obviously. I'm also recording this with some high-quality camera equipment, and we're going to be putting together a more seamless, full production on that and everything. But for the moment, this is the live stream. So let's welcome Mark and John, and I'm going to sit down over here. You're not really going to be able to see me. I'm over here, but that's okay. I've got another camera pointed at me, and my dad's here too. My dad, Walter Kelso. Say hi, Walter.
Hey.
Alrighty. So, tell us your history. How you guys started out. What you do. Give us the lowdown. Give us a rundown.
Well, I used to bully John in the playground.
He's dreaming.
We bullying him. Any relation to a certain YouTube CEO?
No.
Just checking.
No.
She's a count without the O.
But
anyway.
This is where I came in.
This is where you leave.
Hi, Susan.
No, John and I, the history that we have is John and I met in high school. We had studio art together in my what was supposed to be my last year of high school.
And it's okay to look into the camera. You don't have to look at me.
Yeah,
the audience is going to be looking at you.
We also had U.S. history together, and we only knew each other for 1 year. And he left. I stayed behind with the and stuck it out. And we didn't see each other for 23 years.
Oh wow,
23 years. So my wife and him are members of a website called Classmates.com. He saw her name with my last name, and he messaged her, and she said, "Yeah, I'm married to the schmuck." So
that was kind of curious because I've never heard the name Demas before, and I found it odd that it was together to a name that I didn't recognize.
Right, and so
San Demas.
So
excellent.
Yeah. So my wife calls me from the living room into where my office is, where the computer is, and she's like, "Do you know a Mark Sanchez?" And initially I said no. but then I thought about it, like, yeah, I went to high school with a Mark Sanchez. And,
what school did you guys go to?
We went to Roosevelt.
Roosevelt?
Yeah.
Lakeview.
No, I went to Lakeview before I got to Roosevelt.
No, I was at Roosevelt all 4 years.
Yeah, I did a year at Lakeview before, then I transferred to Roosevelt. And that was the biggest mistake in my life.
So when him and I met up at a Martin's gas station, and it was just like the 23 years never happened. We were fast friends again. And at the time, I was collecting musical instruments. I only knew 3 chords on the guitar, couldn't play the bass for nothing. And he's a professional musician.
Yeah,
even though he didn't like to admit it.
We went over by John's house, and I saw all these guitars, and I said I had to play one. And I started playing, and he looked at me like, "Oh, so now you can play?"
Now you can play? What about back in '83? And so he helped me with my music education. And in 2009, our drummer was living in Tennessee. He disassembled his drum kit, put his drum kit in his car, drove from Tennessee to here, and assembled it in my garage, and we played music all day. Yeah, at that point, I was playing bass, and
everybody plays in the garage. You ever know?
Yeah. And so our drummer Dave decided, hey, why don't since we're doing this, why don't we maybe come up with a band name? So we were throwing all these weird names out, the Gargoyles of us. So we're just always
funny was,
and he came up with.
I had told the guys, I said, this is a real class reunion because John, Dave, and I we're all in the same art class.
By the way, different Dave, not me.
No, not him. Not him.
Different.
He's not a drummer. He's not a drummer.
Yeah, so we were all in the same art class, and I said, this is a real class reunion, and that's where the name came from.
Right.
Just from
he said so we all agreed on that name, and my wife also went to high school. I met my wife in high school in 1982. And so she's now in the band. So it really is a class reunion because we're all from the same school.
That's
so
nice.
It all goes right back to that. So the name fits better than probably any name we could ever come up with. we're actually I came with the name the Flying Green Frogs, but you know it's not our age. Maybe when we were younger, being more like a punk rock band, you know.
You know, BA, I just love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah.
Okay. I was up doing my Mr. T impression. I thought, no. You can do it though.
What?
A Mr. T impression, can't you?
By the way, can is there like any quick little riff or something you guys can do, like when anybody cracks a funny, like some kind of little like guitar equivalent?
I just do this.
Yeah, John likes to slide.
You know, I just do stuff like that. You know?
Yeah, John likes to slide on the basic.
All right. So
Problem is I keep breaking the bases by doing it. No.
all right. So when anybody comments with something snarky, just do that thing.
And Mark will just hit a G chord, right? or
See,
or an F chord.
G string.
See, like here. Let's do a not a snark, not a guitar tuner, but a snarky test here. Hey, the YouTube CEO is a count without the O. There you go. Okay, that's a snarky test.
I guess it works.
There we go. That sounded even better.
That's a metal thing.
And maybe up the reverb slightly. And there we go. There, a little bit more reverb there. That's cool. I didn't raise volume. I just raised reverb.
Okay.
That's cool. That's cool.
Okay. You want to play something?
I don't know. I thought he was going to ask us more
You guys
questions.
want more questions? By all means.
Yeah. So, how many places have you guys played at? Like, you know, just
We've played a lot of bars.
Yeah,
we really haven't played anything really big.
When John and I got together,
give them some free advertising. List off as many of them as you.
Cabaret.
we've done the cabaret, the gallery cabaret.
Where's that at?
It's in Logan Square on Oakley and Dickens.
Yeah. So
we've
it's a bar
also
that's been there for like 100 years. It's a really old
Yeah.
bar.
Wow.
we've also done Gulliver's out on Howard Street.
And most recently, we've been playing a place in Addison, Illinois called Mugs and Manor. It's on Addison Road, right in Addison.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Really cool bar.
That's totally opposite direction. You guys getting around.
Yeah,
we're trying.
We also did a gig out in the Elbow Room.
Yeah, we actually put out a live album in 2014. They recorded us live, and I was able to turn that into a full album. We played 13 songs.
Yeah.
A mix of Tom Petty, Beatles, and original stuff, and we do one Elvis song. We're actually considering adding some more Elvis to our repertoire of music. We only do one song called Little Sister. It's a really fun song to play, so that's why I like playing it.
Cool, because that's why I run Linux. Because when it comes to Windows or Mac, let it be. You missed.
You're fired.
You're fired.
Oh, that's okay. Sorry.
God Emperor Trump says you're fired. Settle it. Anyway.
Want to play something?
Hey, how about this? Seeing as the sun is in the process of setting anyway, why don't you play your original, what's it called? It's Saturday Night?
Okay.
Because it's Saturday night. So let's do this thing.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I woke up this morning, I laid in bed. I got a hangover now, I wish I was dead. I went into the lobby, it's 2:45. I'm wondering how I let this happen to me. Well, come on, let's go. Well, it's Saturday night and I'm late for the show. Come on, we'll have a ball. Well, it's Saturday night and we're gonna rock the hall. Well, I went to the street and I met an old man. He gave me some money, put it right in my hand. I said, what you doing, what you give me this for? I know what you want, I'm gonna give you the score. Well, come on, let's go. Well, it's Saturday night and I'm late for the show. Come on, we'll have a ball. Well, it's Saturday night and we're gonna rock the hall. Well, I got lots of wind and I get sex every day, from mothers and daughters the unusual way. Backstage pass for the groupies is cool. We're rocking and rolling at the Catholic Girls' School. Well, come on, well, let's go. Well, it's Saturday night and I'm late for the show. Come on, we'll have a ball. Well, it's Saturday night and we're gonna rock the hall. Woo! Come on, well, let's go. Well, it's Saturday night and late for the show. Come on, we'll have a ball. Well, it's Saturday night and we're gonna rock the hall. Well, I woke up this morning and I'm laying in bed. I got a hangover now, I wish I was dead. I went to the lobby, it's 2:45. I'm wondering how I let this happen to me. Well, come on, well, let's go. Well, it's Saturday night and I'm late for the show. Come on, we'll have a ball. Well, it's Saturday night and we're gonna rock the hall. Come on, well, let's go. Well, it's Saturday night and late for the show. Come on, we'll have a ball. Well, it's Saturday night and we're gonna rock the hall. Woo!
And speaking of windows,
I used to hear you in applause. Sound effect.
and now speaking of the cringy, yucky Windows and Mac, I think it's time for Let That Shit Be. What do you think?
Let it be.
You're not fired this time.
And not fired. Not fired.
Because the guy likes 100 kids.
Now you know the cue, right? So, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
When I found myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. In my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Though the broken hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. Though the may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Ready? C, G, C, G, 2, 3, 4. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And though the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine on till tomorrow, let it be. I'll wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. 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 Whisper words of wisdom. Let it be. 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 So there will be an answer. Let it be. C G D C G.
Insert loud blaring applause here.
I hear it in my head. Don't worry.
Yeah, I already got it. I already got it.
So, which of the multiple personalities is cheering him?
Sleeping.
I got dopey, but anyway. Wait.
Dopey. I think you called him something ruder earlier. It wasn't dopey.
Shitty.
You said asshole.
Yeah, I did.
Fellow Kex, you are witnessing weaponized autism right here. Live on Educational Comedy. Chatelaine, price catch. Anyway.
Anyway, want to break a string here?
Okay, so you guys have a drummer typically, right?
Yeah, his name is David Chessman.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's no way we can fit a drum set in here. Sorry.
No. Right now he lives in Crystal Lake, so that's a good drive.
Wow.
And so at least he's not in Nashville anymore. So Tennessee. So
Yeah. All right, cool. So what else about your band and the stuff that you do you feel really needs to be mentioned on this? Like, what is like the need to know?
Well,
shit?
actually, realistically, because in fact, my opinion that popular music, or what I believe to be popular music, rock and roll music, is pretty much a dying breed. I want us to bring it back to radio. And that's the reason. That's the reason why we want to continue to play classic rock, even if our music comes up as classic rock, our original stuff. That's perfectly fine. To me, that's a badge of honor.
Ever since I started, because I was in a band before I was with John, and then I was a solo artist in the coffee houses back in the '90s. And even when I got together with John, I've always heard people say that my music sounded nostalgic, and they liked it. And back in the '90s, my audience were nothing but high school kids, and they actually were digging the Beatles and my original stuff. I mean, I would go there and they would sing along, and no matter what new song I brought, they wanted to hear the one particular one. And it made me feel good, because I said, okay, I know I'm doing something good. You know, getting together with John, John has brought out more of a composer in me, because I write my own songs.
I had that effect on people.
I do the lyrics and music.
Really? I thought that was just gas.
It is, but hey, you know.
Actually, it was. No.
John brings out the composer, because he could give me a set of lyrics, and I take them with me, and I look for a rhythm pattern.
That's another thing. When him and I write together, we actually write very much like Elton John and Bernie Taupin.
I know.
I will email him lyrics, and he will take my. The only thing he asks me is, would you want mid tempo? Or you're looking for a ballad? I tell him what it's in my head. He takes my lyrics added some good. I can't tell for shit.
Well, Saturday night. Saturday night sounds like an oldie, even though it isn't.
Well, Saturday night.
That's all him. That's all him.
Saturday night started out as an instrumental, and
that's why it's such a really good long opening.
And I was playing around with the chords, and I took it to my former bandmate to show him. And when I got to the part that changes, he's the one who came up with the "Come on, let's go." It's Saturday night, you know. And then once I heard that chorus, I was able to write the verses to go with it. And the verses are actually based on my experience as a solo artist. I actually went through some of that in some retrospect, because I would go out and I would get drunk.
I was the old man to put money in his hand.
I had a party life, you know. The guys at the owner of the coffee house I used to perform at, he would always come and sneak me a drink at my table. You know, the verse about the women and sex. I had a table that was nothing but full of girls. I would get there and they were just there.
Wow.
Yeah. So that song was actually based on
almost autobiographical.
You know, on what I was experiencing in the coffee house. Everything from the drinking to the drugs to the girls at the table, it was all there. But the chorus was written by my former bandmate.
One thing I've been noticing that's becoming more and more trendy, which I think is a good thing. I have my own name for this. I refer to it as quote unquote new modern 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s songs, because they're using modern types of song creating apparatuses, but they sound like 60s songs. They sound like 70s. They sound like 80s.
Yeah, if you look at Bruno Mars, he does a lot of like the old doo-wop. And what's funny is I think I mentioned that to John one time. I said, we're one of the new modern, we're modern nostalgic. Because people have... We
actually, when him and I first started, I would say this comparison came out right around 2010. I had a handful of people messaged me on Facebook saying, "You guys are the modern day Simon and Garfunkel." Now that's a huge compliment.
Yeah.
Because I got nothing but the utmost respect for Simon and Garfunkel. If we're even in the same galaxy as them, that's saying something.
Yeah, totally.
It is, and I think it's because I like to play around with the sound of my voice. He has a very, very straightforward sounding voice. So sometimes, depending on my mood, I'll sing just a little bit higher than him. But then it also depends on the song. Like we had this one song called "Tell It to the People," and I decided I wanted to do something different with my harmonizing with him. Instead, I actually went lower than him, and we recorded the vocals, the rhythm guitar, and the bass all live, and then we added everything else later. But yeah, when we did that, the chorus part, I went low, and I thought if I went high, it still would have sounded good, but going low I think was a good change. And like I said, I like to play around with the sound of my voice in terms of what I can do with it. But it's always fun singing with him.
Yeah, totally. I like to play around with the sound of my voice too. I know, Kermit the Frog here on Paradigm Shift.
I don't have one
comedy with our class,
like Septic Frog, right?
Class reunion, and don't worry, they're not going to be doing any public masturbation this time. Anyway.
Hey, Louis, look at the time.
Would you look at the time?
No, yeah. See, I write in a simple pattern. I've always taken Buddy Holly's advice, just knowing 3 chords.
Oh, now you just reminded me of Weezer. Ooh, you sounds just like Buddy Holly. Oh, yeah, and Mary Tyler Moore. I don't care about this. Yeah, if you've heard the song.
But what happened? Like I told John, what I do is I take the 3 relative major chords, and I use the 3 relative minor chords because I like to use all 6 notes from the scale.
Any cousins in there? I mean, you're talking about all the relatives.
No, I prefer minors. I mean,
yeah, G minor twice removed.
That's right.
Just don't have sex with him.
No, but honestly, his songwriting reminds me a lot of how Tom Petty writes, and that's what. I mean, and I love listening to Tom Petty. When I play, whenever he plays me a new song, I'm like, I just want to get in there. even if I'm not singing, I'd love to something. Let me plan it because he's got a very, very laid back, not lazy, but feel good feel to the way he writes and the way he plays. Mark has frequently told me that when he plays the guitar, he likes to dance on the strings, and the way he does it is the way he plays. That's where he comes from on that. So, to me,
my chord playing hand dances and my strumming hand sings. So it's like, hey, you know, and that's my style.
Yeah.
Is that because of the extra practice you get on the skin flute, or is that unrelated?
We're going there, huh?
Oh, this is paradigm shift in educational comedy. There's no humor that's barred, whether Susan likes it or not. We don't care.
I told you to be careful.
Oh, there's slip.
Want to play something else?
I don't know. You want to hear something else?
Any more questions?
Hold on. We got
a call.
That's
the caller on the line.
We got a call.
We got a caller in.
Wait. Let me do my Larry King impression. Cleveland, Ohio. You know?
now I gotta switch to single camera mode here and
single camera switching.
Hey, we've got a call.
Dad, do me a favor. Take over the interview for just a few minutes while I deal with this other camera quick.
All right.
Ask questions or.
Now we're in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I was gonna get.
Look out! He's sitting next to me now.
Seeing as my dad loves the Beatles, why don't you guys go with 8 days a week while I'm.
We can do that. We can do that.
Musical interlude while I reload the technological dildo here. I'll be right back.
Okay, ready, John?
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ooh, I need your love, babe. Yes, you know it's true. Hope you need my love, babe, just like I need you. Hold me, love me, hold me, love me. I ain't got nothing but love, babe. 8 days a week. Love you every day, girl. Always on my mind. One thing I can say, girl. Love you all the time. Hold me, love me, hold me, love me. I ain't got nothing but love, girl. 8 days a week. 8 days a week, I love you. 8 days a week, it's not enough to show I care. Ooh, I need your love, babe. Yes, you know it's true. Hope you need my love, babe, just like I need you. Oh, hold me, love me, hold me, love me. I ain't got nothing but love, babe. 8 days a week, 8 days a week, I love you. 8 days a week, it's not enough to show I care. Love you every day, girl. Always on my mind. One thing I can say, girl. Love you all the time. Hold me, love me, hold me, love me. I ain't got nothing but love, babe. 8 days a week, 8 days a week, 8 days a week.
Excellent.
Thank you. That's actually the first Beatles song I learned.
That's actually the first Beatles song I've learned.
Yeah.
And I still play it after 30 some odd years.
No, I haven't been playing that one. You're right.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
Now we're ready for a revolution, right?
I wish we could play that one.
That's the slow version.
I know. I'm gonna. How about we? I'll cry instead.
You cry for sure.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I got every reason on earth to be back, 'cause I just lost the only girl I had. If I could get my way, give myself like up today, but I can't, so I cry instead. I got a chip on my shoulder that's bigger than my feet. I can't talk to people that I meet. If I could see you now, try to make you sad somehow, but I can't. So I cry instead. Don't wanna cry when there's people there. I get shy when it's time to stare. I'm gonna have myself away, hey, but I'll come back again someday when I do you better. I and all the girls, 'cause I'm gonna break their hearts all around the world. Yes, I'm gonna break them too, to show you what your loving man can do. Until then, I'll cry instead. Don't wanna cry when there's people there. I get shy when it's time to stand. I'm gonna have myself away, hey, but I'll come back again someday when I do you better. I and all the girls, 'cause I'm gonna break their hearts all around the world. Yes, I'm gonna break them in two, to show you what your loving man can do. Until then, I'll cry instead. Until then, I'll cry instead. Until then, I'll cry instead.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's your little guitar.
That's one of the songs that we kind of made our own.
Mhm.
Because every time I hear it, that break that we do, that's what I hear. The Beatles don't do that break,
No,
but ever since
yeah,
I've
that's
heard
your
it,
own technique.
yeah, so I hear that break and I showed it to John, and
We
you
kind of
know,
agreed that when we do that break, everything stops. We do that part completely a cappella. And,
That's nice.
I mean, also on the Beatles version, Lennon's singing that one all by himself. So
Right,
we're not
right,
doing,
you're
we're not
doing-
doing that. We're making just like they do. We made it our own.
Right, right. Hey, that's what you got to do.
yeah. Well, that's something that we learned from the Beatles. A lot of the covers that they did,
Mhm.
they did it differently than the original artists, and half the time when you think about it, some of those covers were better hits than the original artists had. You know, so.
Wisdom Child was a better hit for the Beatles than the original artists that did that. I know that song was covered by a number of acts even before the Beatles covered it.
You know, so that's what I learned from them. They were always my influence to make songs to your own.
That's a good thing about having a band. You can do your own thing. You're not copy from someone else. You got your own gig.
I mean, the homage is there. It's
Right.
like, oh, they're paying homage to
Right.
whatever group.
Right.
Yeah, you
Well, we like to do it
know when
our
we're
own
singing
way.
that song, that's a Beatles song.
But it makes more interesting that you're doing your thing.
Yeah, I have a friend. He also plays guitar, and he came out to see us in January out in Addison, and we were playing that song, and that was the comment he made. He said it was interesting that the song, I could tell you made it your own, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
it was good to hear, you know.
Yeah, it really was good. You guys you're getting it.
You guys want to play another original?
What do you want to play?
I'm trying to see if I remember. How does it play?
You gonna try that one?
Yeah, let's see if I mess up lyrics. Yeah, we'll slow it down a little bit. We'll play a song he wrote, probably the oldest song of our original songs that we play.
Yeah, I wrote it back in '87.
I
Wow.
think he wrote it in '83. The song is called How Does It Play?
Yeah, I was 20 years old at the time. Yeah. Is that ready?
Yeah.
Now you're 21.
No, I'm 21. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
All right, ready?
How does a boy like me win the heart of a girl like you? Why is it I can't see what it is I have to do? How does a boy like me say what he wants to say when all of his thoughts agree? Love is the only way. I can't find my love, just can't give me anything. No less from above. And my love is everything, just to be myself. And I have to prove my love, you got no one else. And it's you I'm picking up. How does a boy like me show how he really feels when all of his friends can see that all of his love is real? How does a boy like me win the heart of a girl like you? Why is it I can see what it is I have to do? How does a boy like me?
Nice.
Thank you.
It's actually the first time I played it on the 12th string.
Yeah, and it sounds good too. Yeah, that was good.
We used to have a pub I went to, and it was really cool. And when you would walk in, there'd be no chairs. And it was like a built-up stage with stairs, and everybody would sit around the band, and they would play. It was really cool.
Oh,
Lights dimmed down, you know.
sort of the way they do the MTV acoustic
Yeah.
sessions.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah, that would. It is kind of cool. I know in between, you know, my gigs at the coffee house, because I used to live with my brother, and so I would get around, go on the porch, the back porch, and play. And the guys from the neighborhood would all come
sit
up.
around.
And all,
Yeah.
just-
Yeah, it was really nice.
oh yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is very cool.
Don't see that anymore, you know.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's the kind of thing that's missing. Because I kind of agree with John. You know, it seems like the pop music is kind of dying out. You know?
Oh yeah.
I think one of the other is the positive messages that a lot of the older songs have.
Yeah.
Nowadays, a lot of songs have a lot of swear words, and it's like,
Yeah.
really,
it's
do
trash.
we really need to
Yeah.
swear,
I mean, with my,
you know, to get attention?
I mean, it's,
I like songs that tell stories.
I mean, to
That's
add
really cool.
to my point about that, realistically,
Interference.
Sorry, had to drop a Susan into the
with
porcelain
the
safe
birth
space.
of hip hop, rap, country music has exploded because
Oh,
I
country
actually think that,
great.
first of all, my problem with country music is that it sounds too much like pop music. And you're not gonna hear Merle Haggard on the radio. You're not gonna hear Willie Nelson.
Yeah, but when I was growing up, country music was so slow and dying, and then they hopped it up, and then everybody started liking it.
Yeah, I listen to country music now.
Here's the thing. I think with the popularity of hip hop and rap, adult contemporary music has dwindled because of also the popularity of country music. Because also country music has gotten that surge of pop music in its the way it's played. I mean, I have seen on some video channels, you see a guy who's playing an electric guitar. He's got a bass player and a drummer. I'm like, okay, what makes that country music? I don't see no dobro. I don't even see an acoustic guitar. You know, guys playing electric guitar. Keith Urban, for an example. I mean, he's a great guitarist, but he also could be a rock guitarist too if you wanted to.
We had a lead singer.
And he's not even from the United States. He's from Australia.
You get yourself a lead singer, a lady with a good voice, man, it all kicks it up.
Yeah.
That's where my wife comes in. My wife sings like a bird. Problem is, I'm trying to get her to be.
Bird is a word.
Oh, bird is a word. There you go.
There you go.
You know,
You guys can play that?
No.
I wish we could.
The bird is the word.
Bird is the word.
Get Susan, the bird, the bird is the word. Yeah, I had to drop a Susan in the porcelain safe space. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, let's welcome Dave back to
Back to the interview.
Back again.
So Dave, we were just talking here, and we were, wondering.
You were talking. I thought that shit was psychic telepathy. Speaking. That's so
Psychic
fast.
telepathy. That should be the next name of our next album. Last Reunion, Psychic Telepathy.
That was the name of my 5th album. What are you talking about?
Man, my second.
No, that has to be the 6th album for the 6th Sense. You know, so I can.
No.
You fired.
You fired.
That was. Anyway, you didn't hear it from me.
Nope, not for me either. Okay.
What did I miss?
Well, what happened was just drove my by the window and.
Well, they were hammering the hell out of it, so you missed it all.
Jesus.
Woo. So you were just like banging it like Susan at a free speech rally, huh?
Yeah.
You want to try that new Tom Petty song?
I don't even know who Susan is.
Well, I'm getting to know her because she. Well, I keep hearing her name every.
Look,
I hear so much about her. I just want to get
well,
her.
here.
Yeah, me too.
Here,
She must be great at parties.
Look. I'll tell you who she is, Duran Duran style. Her name is Susan. She's the YouTube CEO. She has a channel now, and she wants you to know. She feels Sanchez and Kelso speak nothing but lies. If she gets butthurt, you will be demonetized. In other words, she's the Mark Zuckerberg of YouTube. That's why when you were talking about country, I was gonna say I didn't know that you could grow Susans on trees.
Oh man!
Yeah. You're not by it.
Since you're not happy with country, maybe you could turn it around.
I don't know. Maybe we're not doing anything rock and roll right now.
You'd be the first.
Hey, you know what?
Try the Tom Petty song?
Guys, you could turn it right round, baby, right round.
All right, we're gonna try something a little new here that we haven't. I actually just learned a Tom Petty song last night on bass, and it's the song is a very popular song of his. It's called "Learning to Fly." So, and I figured it out. I played it like a million times last night. Played along with his version on the bass, and he now knows it as well. So we might mess it up, but hey, let's give it a shot. You ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Whiskey or what's your preference?
That's it.
Yeah.
That.
C.
Go back down. Wait. Try it. you were gonna mess it up.
Cream
Let's
style.
start singing. You'll see how you
Wait,
fall.
I don't know where you're at.
I'm playing F. C, A minor, G.
Oh, and that's G. LOL.
Okay. Wait, we need to play it together because I don't know where you're at. So let's.
F.
1, 2,
Don't F
3,
the minor,
4.
it's illegal.
You get, hey, it's one note at a time. See?
No.
That's illegal.
No, it's not one more time. It's you're lingering on those notes. It's not just one.
It's too slow that way.
Dragon.
Stuff the magic. Yeah, stuff the
Stuff the
magic.
magic dragon.
Stuff the magic dragon straight across the floor.
See, hey, let's sing the song.
I can't sing the song unless I'm playing it.
Well, play the song and sing.
Okay.
You'll see.
Maybe sing it first to get your mind in tune, and then your guitar. We'll start it out.
You're right. All right. Hey, I don't always do anything. That's 1, 2, 3, 4.
We'll start it out. Gotta get it wrong. Start it out. All alone. The sun went down. As across the hill. And the town lit up. The world got still. I'm learning to fly. But I ain't got wings. Coming down. It's the hardest thing. Good old days. Ain't not return. Rocks my belt. And the sea may burn. I'm learning to fly. But I ain't got wings. Learning to fly. Coming down. It's the hardest thing. Some say life beat you down, break your heart, steal your crown. So start it out. You got nowhere. Guess I'll know when I get there. I'm learning to fly. But I ain't got wings. Coming down. It's the hardest thing. Learning to fly. Around the clouds. What goes up must come down. Learning to fly.
Good whistle. That's good enough. That's good
You
enough.
know, that reminds me of folk music.
Yeah.
Yeah, folk music. That
That
was
Dylan,
popular
man.
back then. That's good. That's really good.
Alrighty now.
Yeah, see, what is funny is because I learned it today. Before we came here, John was playing, and but that's how I remember.
Over and over.
Yeah,
That's
so
how I do it.
but I remember that. Yeah, each note was twice, but it was kind of spaced out.
Over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Why don't we play our signature song? We have one song that every time we play it, it just draws people in. I'm really surprised that it hasn't done more for us over the years. It's a song he wrote with his former music partner, and the song is simply called Day. And it's one of those songs where it kind of has a little bit dark tones with the actual lyrics, but the music is so upright and happy, you can't help but just get drawn into it.
Yeah, this song too started out as an instrumental, and I showed it to my former bandmate, and he started he started the part that I sing, and then I wrote the part that John and I sing together. So
good.
yeah.
Hey guys, after these messages, I'll be right back. Coffee break time.
Here, you ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
Such a fine, fine day. Such a fine, fine day. I go down to the market. I don't know how to say. Such a fine, fine day. 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 Going to the market, nothing in my pocket. Open up your pocket, nothing much to say. Be the señorita, her name is Margarita. Really glad to meet her, nothing much to say. Such a fine, fine day, such a fine, fine day. Well, I can't find the market, I thought I lost my way. Such a fine, fine day. Such a fine, fine day, such a fine, fine day.
I've got my coffee, Cafifi, Chevrolet.
Going to the fire, eat some papaya, need a gummy fire. Oh, what a day, feeling kinda lazy. People say I'm crazy, when the day is easy. Oh, what a day, who knows? Such a fine, fine day. Such a fine, fine day.
Uno, that's what we are.
Cuatro.
That's an eagle.
Going to the fire, eat some papaya, need a gummy fire. Oh, what a day, feeling kinda lazy. People say I'm crazy, and this day is easy. Oh, what a day. Such a fine, fine day, such a fine, fine day. I go home from the market, I don't have much to say. Such a fine, fine day. Such a fine, fine day, such a fine, fine day. I go home from the market, I don't have much to say. Such a fine, fine day. Talking to my father, man, that man can holler, man, he's such a father. What a crazy day. Talking to my mother, she tells me and my brother, and myself another. What a crazy day today. Such a fine, fine day, 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 such a fine, fine day.
Very fine.
With Dave Kelso playing the
Yeah, that's a good job.
playing the Cafifi. I'm playing
That's
the
a good
Cafifi.
job.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'll try, man. Get a little elbow, sir.
Yeah.
Just
Mark and John on the guitar and Dave on the Cafifi.
Whatever. Okay. Oh, look at the time.
Yeah, look at the time.
You're not fired.
But no, we really should look at the time.
Yeah.
We should.
Yeah, because I need to get that thing fixed with my phone, and I need to use the John.
Okay.
Not me.
No
Yeah,
offense.
yeah.
Not me.
Well,
No offense.
Well, can we after you come back from squashing one out in the SJW, I want to try something a little fun. This is obviously gonna be a fail because it's just for fun. I want you to try something that you haven't practiced at all, just to see your adaptability. I want you to try to see if you can do the chords for Rio by Duran Duran. I mean, I know it's probably not going to go well, but just for fun, because this is an educational comedy. This isn't an educational do it all right the first time.
Yeah, that sort of sounds like John and I.
Yeah, sure.
They never get it right the first time.
We don't get right the second time. Either.
Trial and error, natural
Well,
process.
we'll be right back after these messages.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Dun 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 dun. He-Man and she were having cousin sex. We'll be right back. Dun-dun-dun. Damn.
Okay.
Oh, He-Man.
I
That's a
think
big
in the
sword.
meantime-
Bang.
When he comes back, I think what I can do is I can take the guitar and be a little entertaining for a minute or so.
Mhm.
Put my bass right there. Hopefully not too far in the way.
Good, I do not want to be a witness to any murder.
I can play the Tom Petty song on the guitar. It's actually the only song I know on guitar, and it's fitting for living arrangements because it's called the apartment song.
I used to live in a two-room apartment. It was dark and my wall. Time to hold on, I wanna knock it. Time on midnight, I will never. Oh yeah, I'm alright. Just never caught it alone. Okay, but I can't get tired. Just better run it tonight. I used to need your love so baby, then again, then maybe I get a faraway feeling, then the whole better again. Oh yeah, I'm alright, just feeling alone in the night. I'm okay, all of the time, I just feeling alone in the night. Yeah, like a fire. I used to need your love so badly, then again, maybe I get a faraway feeling, then the whole thing starts again. Oh yeah, I'm alright, just feeling lonely tonight. I'm okay, most of the night, just feeling lonely tonight. Oh yeah, I'm alright, just feeling lonely tonight. I'm okay, most of the night, just feeling lonely tonight. Lonely tonight, lonely tonight, lonely tonight. Chevrolet Company.
You're not fired.
I can still do it on the guitar too.
Yeah, I got better to do jump in on when I think your old man went into the John.
He did, no.
Unless you always keep the bathroom door closed with the light on.
Listen, my father did not have sexual relations with this Demas. No. He does not swing that way.
All right, since I have the guitar on me, I can play you one instrumental that I wrote in 2007. The song is simply called Just It. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Maybe you guys aren't ready for that yet, but your kids are gonna love it.
Now I get to go to the John.
Just don't do it here. Wrong John.
Long John?
I said wrong John. That way.
John. A long way.
Okay, so while he's doing that, how about this? Let's see if you can get the chords to Rio.
Well, only thing is I only know 6 chords on the guitar. That's the reason why I play the bass. I know more notes than I do chords, unfortunately. That's why he's the guitarist and I'm actually the bass player.
Right.
My love for guitar playing.
Okay, well we can still do it with notes because of the. Wait a second. If you can do that repeatedly.
Vocally or on the bass?
On any of the guitars, because you said notes, those aren't chords, those are notes. But you know, one of the backgrounds to her the song Rio is.
All right. See.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah, whichever guitar you think is best for that, but.
Let's see. Do it again.
Yeah.
Wait.
You almost had it.
I got it. Close enough, I guess.
Whoops.
Or how about this?
I was asking students. Orchestral. Okay.
You're getting close.
Okay, let's see what we can do, and if we can't, because we really gotta go, because I gotta see about getting my phone fixed. I won't be able to do it tomorrow because I work.
Yeah, not a problem.
Okay.
I mean, this is just to see what we can do. I'm not expecting it to succeed. This is just kind of a fun ending.
Where is the? There it is.
Put it right back where it was.
I
I can't believe this I can't believe this.
never played this song before the class reunion band.
So if I did this here.
Her name is Susan, she's the YouTube CEO. She has a channel now and she wants you to know.
Yeah, that's where he's singing it. He's singing it in E.
Well, I don't care what key you sing it in, you're doing it in, as long as it flows properly. I can adapt. I can adapt.
Right now,
to key changes.
E. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I don't care what key I can adapt.
Low E, low E. I'm just trying to remember what the scale is. G is G and A,
That
so
ran out already.
E would be F sharp and B.
So what do you
It'll
do?
be that. So the chorus there too.
So what are you doing? You're doing E, A,
And then B, no, to B.
E to B?
Yeah.
To what?
D. So.
G? Is it G?
No, it has to go. See. So
Got it.
E, B, D, and A. So
I'll try to get 4 measures starting. One. Her name is Susan, she's the YouTube CEO. She has a channel now and she wants you to know. She feels Sanchez and Kelso because it lies. If she gets butter, you will be monetized.
That was pretty good, Mark. I told you he was good.
shh, don't let that out.
Basically, he tunes you. Essentially.
Yes,
He tunes you. So you don't
He
need a
completes me. No.
hey, you don't need a snark, you just need a mark.
And I got that.
Yeah, something like that. Well, I hate to cut it short.
Yeah,
Usually.
we do need to go.
Yeah, that's
That's the longest
Thank you for
interview
having us.
performance that we've given. You know?
That's what Lorena Bobbitt said. I hate to cut it short, but you're out of luck.
Ouch!
Woo!
Actually, you wouldn't be saying that. You'd be more like, ouch!
Okay, well,
Even a little higher, maybe.
Hey,
that,
before,
that high scream.
hey, before you guys head out, why don't you give everybody contact information, website addresses, Facebook, YouTube, all that good crap, so they know where to find you.
Okay,
You'll find me on the corner over there.
Oh, well, that was you last
There
time.
you go.
the corner of Broadway and go fuck yourself.
Broadway and Sheridan.
Wait.
Yeah. That's exactly
Not
where it is.
fired.
Not fired.
Okay, right over by that tree.
Okay. Hold on. Okay, for Facebook, it's Facebook.com. Classreunion.biz will get you right to our official page on Facebook. For YouTube, it's youtube.com/JDemas DEMAS123. We'll get you all our videos. We have almost 200 videos of live stuff and other videos that we've done on YouTube. For Reverb Nation, it's reverbnation.com/classreunion. Very, very simple. Can't miss us there. We also have an Instagram page, which is instagram.com/classreunion2009. For Twitter, it's twitter.com/classreunion with a capital C and a capital R1, the number 1. And you can find us there. Or just go anywhere, type in Class Reunion, you'll probably find us.
Class, well, with Google, probably type in
Class Reunion
Band Chicago, probably, because if you just go to Google and type Class Reunion.
Well, if you type in
gonna-
if you type in the Class Reunion Band, that's somebody else.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. We found out that.
Yeah, I actually got a message on Facebook asking us to play at a wedding. We've never played a wedding, but hey, we're open to it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a
We're
crash
open
show,
to
it's a
do
crash
live
show, what?
gigs at your house.
Yeah. And they said that the woman who messaged us on Facebook said that her sister got married in New Hampshire, and we played there, and she actually sang with us. I'm like, did we do something I forgot about?
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
When John told it to me, I said, I don't remember playing at nobody's wedding. I played a street fair.
And in the near future, I'll also be helping them get onto some other forms of social media, such as DeviantArt Minds, and all sorts of other stuff that they probably never heard of. But we'll get them. We'll get their music out there. Four corners.
Yeah, we're pretty much all over. I have some of our videos on Pinterest, Dig.
I said cool.
Oh, I think you said
No, I didn't say cool. I said cool. I didn't say who. I said cool.
I think you said who? Where?
I meant to say cool.
You said, wow, man.
Doctor Who. Oh, Doctor Who, don't even turn on.
1912.
Okay, I'm sitting here so I can wrap this up. To everybody who watched or will watch in the future or whatever, thank you for participating.
Okay,
Make sure you check out all their
Oh, no, go ahead, finish.
I'm wrapping up. Make sure you check out all their stuff, and I'm sure we'll be having them back on again. So, Chatelet, Praise, Keck, and Susan can suck it.
You only
Bye bye.
get-
Have a good day.
You only get 5 stars.